Recording in progress.
Introduction to the board, right?
Marie Tooney.
Yeah.
Paula Siverly.
Robert Lee. Randy Carmody.
Appreciate your aid.
No agenda revisions this evening. Approval of the board meeting minutes. I'll take a motion to approve the April 1st meeting minutes. Motion to approve.
Second.
Any additions or corrections? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. April 14th meetings.
Motion to approve.
Second. And moved and seconded. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Budget committee meeting from April 29th. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Student representative report, Liam.
Hi, my name is Liam Givens. I'm a senior class representative at Sandy High School. I'm also co-editor-in-chief of the Pioneer Press. I'm the vice president of Key Club, as well as officer in Cosmetology Club and Green Club. I want to thank the board for letting me speak here today about some of the stuff that we've been doing at Sandy High School, and yeah, thank you for the opportunity. We've had a busy past couple weeks. We just had our annual decades assembly, which was in the gym where all the students get together and each grade performs like a 5 to 6 minute dance about the songs that are signed from each of their decades. This year our underclassmen placed first and second for the first time in a while, and the sophomores won with a performance from songs from the 90s. We just hosted prom on Friday night at the Abernathy Center, which was a great success. We had around 450 students that attended. It was filled with lots of dancing and lots of fun. It was also a little bit hot, but that's okay. We want to thank all the staff members who helped to volunteer. We had a lot of chaperones this year, and all the students who came and made it fun. Our literary society is doing a fundraiser right now to collect books for the Sandy Library mobile book truck. They have been set up around the school, and they're also raising funds to purchase new books for the library. Our Green Club coordinated with elementary schools last month for Green Club, where Green Club students and officers went around to different schools and read the lyrics aloud to kids and kind of talked about its importance and why it relates to Earth Day. I went personally to OTA. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, I think everyone really loved doing it. So I think it's going to be a tradition for next year and years after that. Additionally, HOSA, the Health Occupants of America, hosted their annual Father Dollar Dance on Saturday, May 3rd. Theme for this year was Tea Party, and once again, I think they had a really great year. The Aquanauts Club this Sunday is having a trail cleanup at the Tickle Creek Trail, and I think I'm gonna go participate in that because it's in my neighborhood, and I want it to be cleaned up, and it sounds like a lot of fun. Lastly, we have our annual Dornbecker fundraiser coming at the end of the month. We have 7 seniors participating this year, not me. I'm a little too nervous to do that, but I got enough confidence to do this today. The performance will be on Saturday, May 31st at 6 p.m. in the auditorium. Admission is $5 and all proceeds go to the Dornbecker Children's Hospital. Thank you again for the opportunity to share this evening.
Yay.
Superintendent's report, Aaron.
I have nothing this evening beyond our retirement that we just lost.
Thank you. We'll take some time for the citizens. Just a reminder, you have 3 minutes to speak, and generally speaking, the board doesn't respond to these until they've had a chance to do some research and look into what's brought up. So don't be surprised if there's no immediate response. So starting with Emma Cappers.
It's not going longer than that. Good evening. My name is Emma Cappers. I have a senior at Sandy High School and a 7th grader at Warning Middle School. I have been a special educator for 24 years, teacher for 21 years, and now a student services consultant for Centennial School District. I came here in November and again in January, asking for the board to consider adopting a phone-free school system. I'm here again to inquire about the status of where the board, school board, and school district are regarding moving forward with this endeavor. What's in it for you? You may ask. What's in it for the district? There are ample studies showing mental health improvements, increases in physical activity, reductions in bullying, and positive academic outcomes when schools go phone-free. Most recent data now, though, is showing that a large impact social media and phones have on kids is that it creates constant attention fragmentation, which blocks the ability to focus and even read a book. As a reminder, I brought you a book. I'm going to buy it for you guys. He outlines 4 foundational harms, one of which is the most important right now for me: attention fragmentation. The average number of alerts that the average child phone user gets is on their phone is 192 per day, and it's even more for a heavy phone user. Our adolescents have an immature frontal cortex and a limited ability to say no to off-ramps and distractions. Because the frontal cortex is the last part of the brain to rewire during puberty, executive functioning skills are slower to develop. Teachers across the country are struggling with access to cell phones in the hands of their students. They are designed to be addictive, and it is irresponsible and unfair to ask a teacher to compete with that. Another quote I like to share is that phones are experience blockers. If we want children to have a healthy pathway through puberty, we must first take them off experience blockers so that they can accumulate the wide range of experiences that they need, including the real world stressors that anti-fragile minds require to wire up properly. Then we should give children a clear pathway to adulthood with challenges, milestones, and a growing list of freedoms and responsibilities along the way. As a reminder, I have created and shared a folder with you with some resources for you to use in your discussion and your consideration. I'm also willing and will be buying each one of you the Anxious Generation. I've offered it a couple times already. I'm just going to go ahead and do it and invite you to join the community, the stakeholders, to develop a plan to move our district forward, regardless of what the state decides with HB 2251. And even if it becomes statewide, this is going to be a significant change in practice. It will require collaboration, buy-in, and support from the families of our students and the teachers in our district. Where action on this shows the families in the district that this is an Oregon Trail School District valued and priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark?
I'm here to echo Emma. My name is Kate Parks, and I have a 7th grader at Boring Middle and a sophomore at Sandy High. I have been a substitute teacher in the district since 2019 and have been consistently, frequently subbing at Sandy High School for the last 3 years. I think we can all agree that our phone usage overall as a society has gone up considerably since 2020. And it is incredibly prevalent among our youth, especially at Sandy High. I think smartphone use and social media aren't necessarily bad things, but when they are getting in the way of learning, growing, and the mental and social health is declining, that is when we as parents have the responsibility to step in to guide our kids in a direction that is more productive and beneficial for their current and future well-being. All the studies show that kids are happier, more productive, less susceptible to depression, and even suicide. And even suicide, the less time they spend on their devices. Subbing comes with many challenges, which for the most part is expected. But usually the hardest part of my day at Sandy High School is battling the students to put their phone away, or in some cases, just to put the phone down on their desk in order for them to do any schoolwork at all. The more they are distracted by their phones, the less they are motivated to do anything productive, not to mention the physical disruption and distraction that is going on within their brains that prevents the ability to learn or retain information. We can agree that these phones and apps are addictive, as well as we all know the more we are on them, the more we feel we need or want them. It's becoming the norm. It makes perfect sense to not allow phones in the classroom because just like other addictive substances, we need to have restrictions in place in order to keep our students safe and to support our teachers. I support Emma's idea for creating a committee and encouraging our school district to be proactive in protecting our students, giving them a phone-free environment to learn, grow, and thrive in. We recently gave my younger daughter a 2-day break for her phone, and within hours, she was already a much happier, less stressed, and more engaged with her family and the world around her. About 10 years ago, I know I'm running out of time, when I was living in Southern Oregon, the Ashland School District publicly aired a documentary called Screenagers by Dr. Delaney at our local movie theater. They invited any and all parents to attend. It is a powerful film that illustrates just how impactful and addictive smartphones are for our children, and in some cases, the irreversible effects they can have.
Finish your thought.
What's that?
Finish your thought.
Okay, this could be a very helpful resource in order to carry out this transition, as many other school districts in the state of Oregon already have. Thank you.
Well, I want to say thank you to Erin Baker for taking notes and being attentive in your listening, because I'm a teacher as well, and I can tell when someone's active listening. And I want you guys to be able to reference back what we're talking about in your future discussions that I hope you have to an extent. My name is Kimberly Norman, and I'm a parent of 3 kids in the district, elementary, middle, and high school. And I substitute teach for grades 6 through 12. We're in the business of educating minds, and I'm here to share my observations on what phones are doing to our kids in regards to their school performance and social connection. The electronics policy, if you don't know, at the middle school is great. Kids have to have their phones locked in their lockers from beginning of day to end of the day, and they know that if they're out, they'll get a strike, a minor, or whatever it's called, and it's really great. So the kids do not really mess around with that. And school functions the way that it should. I don't have to spend 50% of my time scanning for phones and distracted kids or things like that. Studies show that even having a phone next to you hurts your focus and your performance. And that's especially true for our high school. The signs that are posted all around in every classroom saying off and away, they do absolutely nothing to deter the kids. And there isn't really a significant consequence if they decide to leave their phone out and be on it the whole entire class period. Kids will be consistently just scrolling through their phone, staring into their lap, and completely ignoring all the instructions happening. And I know you don't want to think that that would happen, but there's just no respect and they don't care. They will just do it. And even kids who want to focus, they are getting those 100 notifications a day, and they don't have the brains, like she said, to actually say no to those distractions. So they're constantly being interrupted in their learning because it's in their pocket or it's on the desk. And the phones are obviously, like what was said, meant to be addicting, meant to pull your attention away by multi-billion-dollar companies. That's how they were designed. So we don't allow students to wear t-shirts that have distracting or inappropriate slogans, but we allow them to have this device on their body at all times. That's incredibly distracting and incredibly inappropriate. So I'm just here to say that the high school's phone policy is just straight up not working. And I see kids in all levels of the high school, all subjects, and they're just not, it's everywhere. Kids give me this like try and make me look when I ask them multiple times to please put your phone in your backpack. Okay, just put it in your pocket then, okay? Like just try. I don't want to get into a fight with the kid, but their addiction is so severe that it is a physical reaction for them. They do not want to be separated from it. And it's heartbreaking. It's impossible to fight. And it shouldn't even be an issue because we can do so much better. Secondly, like she was talking about, just the interruption of their relationships. The excessive amount of screen use undermines their personal connection, and we've seen our mental health plummeting in our kids around us. Kids that seem happy on the surface, we don't know what's going on underneath. And being on your phones is kind of robbing kids of their chance to connect. Can I talk for a second longer? Just a minute? Okay,
Finish your thought.
almost done. So for example, when I am done teaching for the day and there's 5 minutes left of class, in the middle school, I'll say, okay, guys, we're done. Like, you guys can like do whatever till the bell rings. And like the room is instantly filled with like conversation and chat. And like, oh, how'd you do on that test? And like kids are talking to each other and connection. And relationship is happening, but when I do the same thing at the high school, it's absolutely silent. Kids just pull their phones out and they just disconnect from everybody around them. So I'm really urging you guys to adopt a morning bell to dismissal bell phone policy, phone-free policy. If kids have their phone in their backpack, they're just gonna sneak off to the bathroom for 10 minutes to catch up on the 30 notifications that they've missed while I've been in class. And I know that we can do so much better for our kids because what we're doing right now is it's just not working. And I know legislature might be coming down that encourages you or requires you, but we have to do something. We can't just sit around and let these kids' high school experience slip away. We need to be proactive to try to protect their learning and their mental health.
I'm currently the band president for Sandy High School. I'm going to talk about the elementary music department. I wasn't expecting to be the first one to talk about this. I gotta be honest, I also am not very good at public speaking, so I was going to keep this really short. So I was going to go after Michi or something. But I just want to talk about how music has changed my life, and that all starts from the elementary school music classes. I gained a lot of confidence, or else I wouldn't be up here, because I was able to join band and be taught by the Midgets. And that happened because in elementary music classes, you're introduced to music and you learn how great it feels to be playing and learning and just to contribute to music. And I learned a lot of skills, and I now know to take responsibility because of music. And it just helped me a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Chase.
Hey everybody, good job, Kat. My name is Alec Chase. I am the current choir teacher and guitar teacher at Sandy High School, and I'm here to echo band president Kat Shoup's sentiments here, along with some of my music colleagues, about the proposed plan to discontinue elementary school music education in our school district. Obviously, a little biased, but I think music education at all levels is very important. I know a lot of folks in the room that have been directly impacted by music education. I myself am the product of quality childhood music education. I like to think that most of the positive experience in my life I can attribute to my music education. All of my friends, career, I met my spouse through music education. I got all of my social skills through music education. And I spent a lot of my first years of elementary school not really seeing the point until I found my music class. That was the first thing that kind of kicked me from being an underachiever to high school valedictorian. There was the carrot that kind of kept me going through. I think it's important we provide that experience to our students, especially at our youngest levels. I think young students, they don't really know what opportunities are out there unless those opportunities are present. We're not going to present every single opportunity to our elementary school students, but music is a really, really important one. I don't think they're going to know it's there until it's offered to them through that music education class they get 2 or 3 times a week. It really is essential. I'd also like to point out it's been part of our school district for a century now, and I'd like to see that keep going. It obviously has a huge impact on our middle and high school programs as well. This school competes at the 6A level with sports, choir, and band are both sports. And we already kind of have a hard time keeping up. There are these massive schools we're competing against. And I think if we're going to take away the elementary education, it's going to take the wind out of our sails. We get students that kind of come out through the woodwork. A lot of my choir students, some of them are just like, yeah, let's just check that out. But realistically, most of the music students we get are the ones that have had prior exposure to music. If they didn't do middle school choir, it's because they did choir in church or they come from a musical family. It's not because all of a sudden they just start singing opera when they wake up in the morning. They need that exposure at the young level so that they can continue to pursue that in high school. And we pick up some along the way, but they, again, if they don't know it's there, they won't be able to continue with it. So I think if we're going to represent the best that OTSD has, especially at the 6A level, it needs to match the curriculum offerings of other 6A schools, which you'll see a K through 12 plan from other 6A school districts. I really think it's important to echo that. I have another speech here from another student. She was sick tonight, couldn't come. I don't know if I can get a copy. It's a fabulous speech. It's much better written than mine. So I don't know if that's possible to.
Yeah, I'll just leave it with Trisha, we'll make sure.
Perfect. That'd be. Anyway, thank you for your time, everybody. Appreciate it.
Andy Reese.
Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk on the same topic of elementary music teaching. My name is Andy Reese, and I'm an 8th grader at Cedar Ridge Middle School. Elementary school is a very important time in children's lives. It is a place where they learn all sorts of skills like reading, writing, history, ways to be healthy, and plenty more. One of these skills is music. Music is a big part of life in modern day, you know, with phones playing music, people with their AirPods, or whatever they call it nowadays. We listen to and sing music all the time. If the teaching of that were to be taken away from kids, then they would have less interest in it, and they would have to go the extra mile to just learn about music itself. As a kid, and especially now, I was really into music. Because I have moved and changed schools a few times, I've had many music teachers over the years. Many meaning 4. Yes. They were all very unique. My first one had a large variety of instruments like drums, flutes, keyboards, marimbas, egg shakers. The list continues. There's plenty of things. My second music teacher had records and boom whackers, which were a big part of that grade for me, because they were the main instrument that I used there. I got to learn how to play the recorder as well. And the last elementary school I attended, Sandy Grade, I learned a rhythm, the Bim Bum song, which really stuck in my head and hasn't gone away. Yeah. So in this year, in middle school, I decided to attend choir. A really fun class by a really fun teacher. I would not have been as interested in attending choir in middle school if it weren't for my elementary music experiences. Not to mention, my sisters, one of which here, Ruby Reese, are very musical, and I got a lot of experience from them and was very inspired by them. So remember, elementary school is very important, especially in young minds. If you inspire those minds by putting in the effort to have a music program implemented into school life, then that can really impact their futures and their lives. Thank you.
Ruby Reese.
My name is Ruby Reese. I'm also speaking on the topic of elementary school music teachers. I'm a senior at Sandy High School, and I'm currently serving as a member of the choir council and a section leader in symphonic choir. And I'm here to talk about how music has inspired me. When I was in elementary school, music class was always my favorite part of the day. I loved singing, learning new instruments, and just having lots of fun trying out new musical things with my friends. When I was in 4th and 5th grade, I joined choir, and I made so many friends, and being involved in music in elementary school made me want to continue it through middle and high school. I was in band from 5th to 8th grade, and now I am in 2 different choir classes. I didn't take choir my freshman and sophomore year, but I always regretted it because choir has been where I made all of my best friends. Sorry, I lost my place. I have made so many amazing friends, and music has always been a safe place for me to go when I'm feeling down or stressed out. Being involved in a music class for almost every year of my school life has been such a gift, and it would be a shame for a kid to miss out on something like that, to find a passion early on because they had no music class in their early school years. Also, my music teachers throughout all of my years have been my most inspirational teachers. So, music has shaped my life in such amazing ways, and I'm very glad I had the opportunity to discover my love for it at such a young age. Thank you. You can tell our family is passionate about music. Good evening, my name is Wendy Reese. I'm an elementary school teacher at Sandy Grade Elementary. Music is more than just an art. It's an academic tool proven to enhance cognitive abilities. The research is clear. Students who participate in music education consistently outperform their peers in academics. In addition, music fosters self-reliance and an eagerness to learn. In the Oregon Trail School District, some of our elementary schools have maintained their access to a middle school or a music teacher, while others have not. This has created an inequity for students and for staff. Providing an elementary music program aligns with school district board goals. According to your webpage, the Oregon Trail School District Board aims to inspire students, pursue academic excellence, increase graduation rates, and to unite the community. Music strengthens math and reading skills. Research shows that rhythmic training improves numeracy and sequencing abilities, creating cognitive connections that improve math skills. It also improves literacy and by enhancing phonemic awareness and helping young learners to recognize patterns in language. Schools with strong arts programs report lower dropout rates and higher college enrollment. A University of Kansas study found that on average, students from schools with strong music programs scored 100 points higher on the SAT compared to those with no music education. We cannot forget the unique needs of students in our structured learning program. Music provides an inclusive alternative to PE for students with physical limitations and would ensure that every child has access to their learning needs. In this anxious generation, we're seeing record levels of anxiety among students, even at the elementary level. A 2022 meta-analysis on music therapy found that engaging in music significantly improves emotional regulation and resilience. Other studies show that music lowers cortisol levels, which reduces anxiety. I recognize that recruiting a music teacher has been a challenge, but it might be time to stop ignoring the problem and start looking for creative solutions, like restructuring the job so that it's more appealing to potential candidates, or collaborating with universities to look for student teachers, writing grant applications, or looking at the assets that already exist amongst our staff. After COVID, many music and drama departments suffered and essentially had to be rebuilt. The lack of music in our elementary schools could have lasting consequences. Music is an essential part of a well-rounded education. If we truly want to help every student discover their pathway to academic success, then music education should be a priority. Thank you.
Okay, moving on, certified staff.
Good evening. I was gonna talk about end of year stuff and state testing stuff, but I'm just gonna switch gears and echo all of the comments made about music, because I know that our members really do not want to see the elementary music program go away, and I know that the budget is a huge part of that, but also just to urge everyone to see if we could maybe rethink some creative solutions to keep our elementary music program, because we also think it's important. Thank you.
Thank you.
So guys.
What? You can talk about testing.
We started state testing.
Okay.
Classified, I assume there's no presentation, I didn't believe. Consent agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. For a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Action item, cell tower lease extension. Tim.
evening. So as you're well aware, we have a cell tower over at the Cedar Ridge Middle School campus. It's been in the district for many, many years. Agenda in front of me. A couple years ago, it's owned by Verizon Wireless. Verizon Wireless has turned over management to American Tower. It's still owned by Verizon. American Tower manages Verizon's assets. So they approached us a couple of years ago, looking to extend their existing agreement. We put them off because we wanted to make sure that American Tower was going to see the existing agreement the way that we see it when it comes to co-locations and other tenants on that tower. So if you recall, I think it was last year, we got through our first co-location with District Wire, District Network, for a placement on that tower, which proved that they're going to honor and see the agreement the same way that we do. So now that that's in place, they come back to us again, seeking to extend existing lease for 3 additional 5-year terms. So each 5 years, they get an option to continue up to another 5 years and so on, up to again 3 5-year terms. So this is important for them because as they entertain co-locations and as they plan their long-term longevity, they want to be able to know that they have stability in the site over here. This agreement is coming up in another year or so. So with that, we have a good agreement what we have in place currently. Many of the cell tower agreements out there don't give a benefit to the less co-locations. We essentially, every time somebody goes on our tower, we get to lease the property again. So we have 3 co-locations on it currently, in addition to Verizon. And we appreciate the structure of this agreement. We want to keep it in place. And so I said, to entertain an extension, we need to keep it as is. We're not changing any other language in the agreement other than simply picking up where we're at now and moving forward. And so that's exactly what they have agreed to and proposed in this extension here. So we're asking the board, because this is committing, continue district asset. That's why that's the contract with the board. Capacity, that's why we asked for approval of this. So again, no other changes to the terms, no other effects on the existing co-locations. Just somebody will perpetuate the existing agreement and 3% escalation per year. Any questions I can answer?
More questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve. Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I will add one more clarification, which should be in the motion. We want to continue to designate the proceeds of the tower to facilities. We've had a practice that I appreciate the board's endorsement on is if we make income from facilities, it goes back into facilities, which is it's a very difficult resource for us to come up to, to support facilities and all the other demands on the budget. So I just want to add that clarification.
So the motion is to extend the lease and designate the funds to the facilities. So any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Tim.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No information and discussion items this evening. Announcements. OTA has a board meeting on June 3rd. Our next board meeting is June 9th, and we have another board meeting in June on the 30th. We are going to recess and reconvene in 5 minutes with a executive session.
Okay.